how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. In today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at this 2019 Ford Raptor. Now, I've been looking forward to checking one of these out for quite some time, and I want to give a big thanks to my buddy Kevin for letting me borrow this for a few days. He actually has a Ram TRX on order, which is why there's a Hellcat plate on the back of a Raptor. It's kind of funny. This one also has a Whipple intercooler and intake upgrade and a different tune, so it's making a bit more power than your standard Raptor. Of course, like all my reviews, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Raptor and taking it for a thorough drive. I'll talk about everything that makes it special. We'll talk about performance and capability, options, pricing, and so much more. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up and let her run. With the unveiling of the all-new third-generation Raptor right around the corner, and my recent experience with the Ram TRX, I'm incredibly excited to finally dive into one of these trucks. For the longest time, the Raptor was in a class all to its own. Produced between 2010 and 2014, the first generation made a huge splash as the first factory-offered purpose-built super truck designed for extreme off-roading. Starting in 2017, the second generation took things to a new level with more power and torque, a significant drop in weight, and the most advanced powertrain, transfer case, and suspension ever fitted to an F-150. The 2020 model year will be the final year for the second generation. Like the original, this one was offered with a choice between two cab configurations, Super Cab and Super Crew. For the 2020 model year, base pricing for a Super Cab started at $55,150, while the Super Crew started at $58,135. Both of those prices included a $1,695 destination charge. This example is pretty much fully loaded with the exception of some over-the-top options that I'll cover when we dive into the interior. For a similarly equipped 2020 model, the total MSRP for what you see here would have been $75,340. From the outside, the Raptor distinguishes itself with a unique wide-body design and an aggressive stance inspired by desert-running trophy trucks. Compared to a standard F-150, the Raptor has a 6-inch wider track. I'm a big fan of the styling and how the flared portions of the body tie in with the angles of the front and rear lighting. It's a trait shared with the first generation Raptor. The second generation's redesigned bumpers improved approach and departure angles. Like before, there's a bold Raptor-specific grille, blacked out headlamps, and an assortment of LED marker lights. The wide tailgate applique on second-generation Raptors further differentiated from a standard F-150. To protect critical components including the front axle, transfer case, transmission pan, and fuel tank, there's an assortment of underbody skid plates. Low-profile cast aluminum running boards are standard. Through adopting the F-150's new aluminum body structure, a new high-strength steel chassis, and through a greater use of lightweight materials, the second-generation Raptor shed up to 500 pounds over its predecessor. Aerodynamics were improved as well thanks to the new body styling, upper and lower active grille shutters, optimized exterior component geometry, functional hood and fender vents, and the underbody shielding. The Raptor's chassis features its own high-strength steel box frames and a unique 134.2-inch wheelbase for the Super Cab. Regardless of which cab configuration you choose, there's only one bed offered. It's 5.5 feet long and has a total cargo capacity of 52.8 cubic feet. To make climbing into the bed easier, Ford offers a hidden step system that's built into the tailgate. It's a $375 option and it's absolutely worth it. After pressing the button on the tailgate, you pull the step out towards you and lower it down. Then you pull the grab bar out towards you and raise it up till it locks in place. Compared to the different bumper step options offered by GM and Ram, this is hands down the most comprehensive and sure-footed way to easily and safely climb up into the bed. Ford offers both plastic drop-in and spray-on liners for added bed protection. There's 4 cargo tie-downs and lots of options for additional organization. LED bed illumination is available so you can see easier at night. The Raptor comes standard with a trailer tow package, which includes, amongst other things, both 4-pin and 7-pin harness connectors, an auxiliary transmission oil cooler, an engine oil cooler, and a smart trailer tow connector. Ford's Pro Trailer Backup Assistant is added with the available luxury group, along with an integrated trailer brake controller. Max towing and payload is 8,000 and 1,200 pounds respectively. The second generation Raptor was offered with 2 different 17-inch wheel designs, including these optional forged aluminum beadlock capable wheels. They're a functional upgrade for those that plan on spending a lot of time in the rocks and sand. The beadlock design provides additional tire holding strength by pinching the outside of the tire's sidewall to the rim. Beadlock wheels also allow for low pressure use and improved off-road traction without the risk of the tire separating from the wheel. There's a full-size spare tire mounted underneath the bed. The 315/70 BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tires were developed specifically for the Raptor's extended off-road capabilities. Depending on which cab choice you go for and of course how the truck is equipped, the second generation Raptor weighs between 5,500 and 5,700 pounds. Internally ventilated disc brakes can be found at each corner. Up front there's 13.8 by 1.3 inch discs, and in the rear there's 13.2 by 0.95 inch discs. They're clamped down by twin piston and single piston calipers respectively. While the discs aren't as massive as the ones on the Ram TRX, they still do a great job at bringing this beast to a stop quickly and with confidence. After all, this truck probably weighs about 600 pounds less than a comparable TRX. An electronic parking brake is standard. The Raptor benefits from specially developed front and rear suspensions that are designed to handle harsh terrains at high speeds. The front consists of an aluminum-intensive independent double wishbone setup, while the rear consists of semi-elliptic multi-leaf springs and a solid axle. The second generation Raptor introduced 44% larger Fox shock absorbers with 3-inch diameter canisters versus 2.5 inch in the first generation. They offered 9-stage bypass damping for improved suspension control, improved heat dissipation, and hydraulic bump stops for minimizing bottoming out over rough terrain. For 2019, the shocks were upgraded with electronically controlled live valve technology that continuously adjusts damping in real time to help the second generation Raptor make the most of its suspension travel of 13 inches in front and 13.9 inches in the rear. That's 0.8 inches and 1.9 inches more than the first generation Raptor. It's also 5.7 inches and 4.4 inches more than what you'd get out of a standard F-150 equipped with the FX4 package. Approach, breakover, and departure angles come in at 30, 22, and 23 degrees respectively. There are sensors in the suspension and body that help adapt the suspension accordingly to optimize comfort, handling, and bottoming out resistance. For example, when the sensors detect that the truck is in mid-air, the dampers are set to full stiffness to help smooth shock performance as the truck lands. You can also adjust the damping behavior via the Raptor's drive modes. Overall ride quality and typical day-to-day use is comparable to a typical leaf-sprung pickup. All things considered, it's surprisingly compliant over rougher roads. However, the Ram TRX with its 5-link coil-sprung rear suspension does offer a smoother, more comfortable ride. Another new technology added for 2019 was trail control. It's like low-speed cruise control for navigating rugged terrain. The system automatically adjusts power and braking to each individual wheel so you can just focus on steering. It can be activated at speeds from 1 to 20 miles an hour depending on the position of the driveline. The Raptor's rack and pinion steering offers variable electric power assistance and an overall ratio of 17.1 to 1. It takes just over 3 turns from lock to lock. The turning diameter is about 48 feet. You can customize steering feedback via 3 modes. Normal is for everyday driving, Sport is for higher effort and more torque feedback, and Comfort is for lighter, easier to use steering. The steering wheel itself is unique to the Raptor. It's comfortable to hold and features perforated leather across the sides, a red center marker at the 12 o'clock position, and large grip bolsters at 10 and 2. The second generation Raptor's high-output 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 was a big departure over its predecessor's 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8. It's hard to replace the traditional sounds and feel of a large V8 with a V6, but giving credit where it's due, this is a pretty impressive package. Not only did it save a good bit of weight up front, but it brought an additional 39 horsepower and 76 pound-feet of torque to the table. The high-output V6 was also significantly more power-dense. It develops 450 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 510 pound-feet of torque at 3,500 RPM. The engine is constructed using aluminum for the block and heads and features double overhead camshafts with 4 valves per cylinder and variable camshaft timing. Fuel is delivered by a combination of port and direct injection. The compression ratio is 10 to 1. Max engine speed is 6,000 RPM. Compared to Ford's standard 3.5-liter EcoBoost engine, the high-output variant pushes more boost plus other supporting upgrades for an increase of 85 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque. In 2019, Ford began offering this high-output engine in the F-150 Limited as well, making it the most powerful light-duty pickup in America. As someone who has always been a traditional V8 guy, I can really appreciate what Ford did here. With the Whipple Stage 1 upgrades on this example, including an upgraded intake, intercooler and tune, power and torque is claimed to increase by 80 and 150 respectively. A stock Raptor can accelerate to 60 miles an hour in about 5.2 seconds and fly through the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 97.3 miles per hour. Top speed is governed to 107 miles per hour. While not quite as blistering as the Ram TRX, this truck with the extra power didn't feel super far off. The weight difference definitely helps. Power is harnessed by a 10-speed automatic transmission that was originally developed through a joint effort between Ford and GM. Each manufacturer features unique programming of the transmission. Therefore, even though a number of Ford and GM vehicles have adopted the 10-speed in recent years, they aren't necessarily reminiscent of one another with regards to shift strategies and overall powertrain configurations. That being said, the Ford variant, known as the 10R80, replaces the 6R80. Physically, the 10R80 is only 25mm longer than the 6R80. Out of the 10 forward speeds, there are 3 overdrive ratios. It features a short 4.69 to 1 first gear ratio and a tall 0.63 to 1 final overdrive ratio. 4.1 to 1 final drive ratios are standard on the Raptor. One really cool feature with this transmission is its ability to non-sequentially select the right gear ratio at any given time to improve overall performance and efficiency. The shift algorithm can be altered between normal, tow haul, and sport modes. You can also shift the transmission manually by a set of large magnesium paddles behind the steering wheel. It's a very smooth and responsive transmission that never feels like it's hunting for gears, with rapid shifts reminiscent of a dual-clutch transmission. The Raptor's 4-wheel drive torque-on-demand transfer case with terrain management was the first system of its kind that merges all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive capabilities so the Raptor could handle any driving situation on-road and off. It features a clutch-based torque-on-demand system that can automatically apply torque between the front and rear wheels. It also has a true mechanical lock for 4-wheel drive high and 4-wheel drive low, so you literally have the best of both worlds. The terrain management system selects the most suitable 2, 4, both high and low, and all-wheel drive modes, all while recalibrating the engine, transmission, braking, and stability control systems to optimize performance accordingly. The modes include normal, slippery, deep snow and sand, Baja, and rock crawl. For improved traction and directional stability, you can also opt for a front axle that features a Torsen mechanical limited slip differential. One good example of how all of this works together is Baja mode. With the driveline locked into 4 high, you can also lock the rear differential at all speeds to maximize traction, while the Torsen front diff provides improved steering feel and directional control in deep sand desert environments. With the high-output EcoBoost V6 and the 10-speed transmission, the second-generation Raptor improves combined fuel economy estimates by 23% over its predecessor, despite being more powerful. EPA estimates range between 15 miles per gallon in the city and 18 miles per gallon on the highway. In mixed driving, I averaged around 16 miles per gallon. Premium 93 octane is recommended for maximum performance. A capless fuel filler is standard. The total tank capacity for Super Cab models is 26 gallons. Super Crew models get a larger 36-gallon tank. The second-generation Raptor's interior features some unique touches that differentiate it from a standard F-150. For starters, the front seats have more pronounced side bolstering for extra support. As mentioned, the steering wheel has more pronounced bolstering and leatherwork. The instrument panel, center stack, and door trims also have a unique finish. Lastly, there's a row of aux switches in the overhead console, which offer a clean solution for wiring up and operating aftermarket equipment, such as exterior lighting or an auxiliary air compressor. While the Raptor offers a generous amount of standard equipment, there are 3 main equipment groups to choose from, including base, mid, and luxury. With the luxury group, as shown here, you get 10-way power adjusting front seats with 4-way power lumbar, memory settings for the driver, power adjusting pedals, and a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. The luxury group also includes heated and cooled front seats and a heated steering wheel. The seats are very comfy and offer great lower back support. The headrests and seatbelts are manually adjustable. Cloth upholstery is standard, leather upholstery with cloth accents is optional. Black is the only interior color unless you opt for the luxury group, which has the exclusive option of a blue interior accent package. With it, you also get more aggressive Recaro front seats, aluminum dash panels, and high-gloss carbon fiber trim on the dash, doors, center console, and shift knob. The carbon fiber package is available as a standalone option on the luxury group if you prefer the black interior. The overall build quality is very good for the segment. The interior is quiet and the materials for the most part feel high quality. When leather is added, soft stitched pattern material is added to the top of the dashboard for a fancier touch. When it comes to the audio system, in 2018, Ford replaced the once optional Sony audio system with a new system from Bang & Olufsen known as B&O Play. It's standard with the luxury group. While it doesn't offer quite the range and fidelity of the Harman Kardon system offered in the new Rams, it's still a really nice system that's every bit on par with the other competitors' high-end systems. Ford's Sync 3 infotainment system is standard on every Raptor, along with all of today's expected media options, hands-free telephone, and smartphone integration technologies like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Other features added with the luxury group include voice-activated navigation with SiriusXM Traffic and Travel Link, a dual-zone climate control system that can be operated by the screen or the buttons in the lower center stack, a 360-degree camera system, and blue ambient interior illumination. The Raptor offers an expected amount of storage space for the segment. The center console includes a large covered compartment at the rear with a removable tray and pin storage on the lid, slender pockets across the sides, cup holders up top with a small slender tray, and a covered compartment at the front that also houses a couple of USB ports. The large glove box is tiered and lockable. There's a storage tray on top of the dash and generous lower door pockets. For convenience, there's 12-volt and AC 110-volt power outlets on the right side of the center stack. The 8-inch driver's information display in the middle of the instrument cluster is standard on the mid and luxury groups. The base Raptor has a smaller 4.2-inch display with 4 analog gauges above it. When this generation F-150 was first launched, it offered one of, if not the roomiest rear seats in the segment. Even with some of the newer offerings in recent years, the F-150 has held its own with plenty of room for 3 adults and plenty of cargo space. In addition to large pockets on the doors and seatback pockets, you can flip up the 60-40 split bottom cushion to really open up floor space. Underneath the rear seat, you'll also find a cargo organizer that you can load up with the basic travel essentials. The rear doors open up nearly 90 degrees, making it effortless to climb in and out. There's grip handles on the B-pillars. I'm 5 foot 10 inches. Once seated, I had plenty of head and leg room left over. Taller folks will not have an issue sitting back here. There's a fold-down armrest with tuck-away cup holders and 3 adjustable headrests. The back of the center console houses a couple more cup holders, adjustable air vents, 2 USB ports, and extra 12-volt and AC 110-volt power outlets. Heated rear seats are optional. The outboard headrest can be folded for better visibility. A panoramic glass roof is also optional for those who appreciate the extra natural light. When it comes to safety, the Raptor features dual front airbags, front seat-mounted side airbags, and side curtain airbags for the front and rear. With luxury group-equipped Super Cruise, you also get special inflatable rear seat belts for the outboard seats. In an accident, they distribute the crash force energy over a larger area than traditional belts, helping reduce the risk of injury while producing extra head and neck support. Of course, there's a whole suite of standard and optional driver assistance technology. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2019 Ford Raptor. Be sure to stay tuned next time, leave a like down below, and subscribe today if you haven't already, because there's always a lot more content where that came from. Big thanks once again to my buddy Kevin for letting me borrow this. It has been an absolute blast. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.